Hello everyone, Ryan here. Son of Slappy by R.L. Stine. Goosebumps Most Wanted. Recently read this. Of course, if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm on a bit of a Goosebumps kick. So I do plan on reading many more from these new series that R.L. Stine has created. Of course, there's this one, Most Wanted, and there's Slappy World, and I forget how many others there are, but quite a lot. So, anyways, as far as this one is concerned, which, by the way, if you're not familiar with the character Slappy, he's just this ventriloquist dummy who does come to life. He's pretty much kind of like more of a PG version of like Chucky. And so, and if you don't know who Chucky is, you should definitely look that up. Because I'm pretty sure by now everybody is familiar with Chucky. So, but I mean, I do know that not everyone is familiar with Slappy. So, yeah. So, anyways, in this one, the main character is Jackson Stander, and he's supposed to be like a really good kid, well behaved, and always does his homework, always does what his parents tell him to do and all that. And so then one day, I want to say it was a couple of days or like a week, him and his sister, they go and they stay with their grandfather, their grandpa Whitman. And of course they go there, and their grandpa, he has like a lot of weird things. Like, I guess over the years he's collected a lot of weird and odd things, like dolls and figures and whatnot. And so it's there that Jackson first comes across his grandpa's dummy collection, ventriloquist dummy collection. And it's there that he comes across the one that looks like Slappy. Although initially his grandpa tells him that, he tells him the whole story about Slappy the dummy, and that he comes to life when you read some words on this slip of paper that's in his pocket. And of course, Jackson and his sister, they don't believe him at first, but the grandpa tells him that the ventriloquist dummy that he has, it's not the actual Slappy, but it's like a copy of the actual Slappy dummy. So, and he said that therefore, the grandpa tells him that the Slappy dummy that he owns, since it's not the real Slappy, that he believes that it's not able to come to life no matter how many times you try to bring it to life. So, and then of course, eventually it's proven wrong, and because the dummy does come to life, although it was, again, I don't want to give away too much, but so the grandpa, Jackson's grandpa, gives him the dummy, this one guy who lives with his grandpa, this friend of his grandpa, and whose name escapes me at the moment, but yeah, he's the one who gives Jackson the dummy. And so him and his sister return home, and then Jackson decides that he wants to become a ventriloquist, because he wants to be able to, he plans on performing in front of the kids who go to this youth center, which he refers to as the YC. So, he sets about learning how to manipulate the dummy's mouth and all that, and come up with some kind of act or something. And then unbeknownst to him, like somehow something happens where this dummy, even though it's pretty much, it's not the actual Slappy, but still pretty much just like the actual Slappy. Somehow it comes to life and starts wreaking havoc, but in a different way than the actual got tongue tied. Starts wreaking havoc in a different way than the actual Slappy would or could. It's very interesting. I mean, eventually, like, of course, I mean, Jackson does eventually find out who the son of Slappy is, and which obviously another thing I don't want to give away. But yeah, so he finds out about that, who the son of Slappy really is, and you know, pretty much Jackson finds himself involved in some pretty bad stuff, right? And of course, everyone, like his parents, his friends, they're all surprised by the fact that all of a sudden, you know, because before there, you know, everyone was used to him being this perfect model kid, and all of a sudden his attitude changes, you know, and they're all shocked by it, and of course the reason for that being this Slappy dummy coming to life. So yeah, so that's what I mean by, you know, this particular dummy wreaks havoc, but in a different way than the original Slappy would. So, and it makes for an interesting read. Obviously, for me, it was a pretty quick read, easy read, and again brought up all of the familiar nostalgic feels and whatnot, and the end, of course, also has one of those familiar twist endings. This one I wasn't really expecting. Like the other two I read and reviewed, I was pretty much expecting the ending for those, but for this one I wasn't really expecting it. But I mean, I wouldn't say, like, it didn't come off as like completely surprising, but for me, I guess I would just say mildly surprising. So yeah. So because of that, I gotta give it an overall rating of 4.5 stars, 4.5 out of 5. Yeah. That does it for this review, my review of Son of Slappy. And like I said, I'm going to be reviewing more of these. Plus, it just so happens to turn out that it's October, Halloween season. So, also too, if you happen to have any good horror recommendations, you know, horror novels, books of any kind, really, you know, graphic novels or whatever, please don't hesitate. Leave me a comment below. Usually I only really like reading anything from the horror genre during this time of year, October, or, you know, fall season. So yeah, that's it. Once again, I give this 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.